doesn't mean that they have the ideas to save the country. I mean, in retrospect, from both of the guys, they just sound like broken records. They talk about more taxes, fewer jobs, less prosperity, and more debt. And I'm pretty much more war, both of them, whether the Democrat and the Republican. And what I pretty much am offering people is a very stark choice. Like, you can have less debt, less war, a lot more prosperity and a lot more jobs if you just vote for myself. But what it comes down to is a lot of times, quite honestly, like they've been able, like this race in this particular district is extremely highly funded because it's a district that's historically been Democrat but has elected a Republican currently in office. So they're trying to obviously knock out the Republican. And they've been pouring millions of dollars into it, and I've been able to raise $50,000, over $50,000, all from private donors. I don't take money from corporate PAC groups or lobbyists, and we've been able to do quite a bit with that amount of money. We've been able to flood the local airways with radio ads. We're looking at getting together a little bit more money to do some TV ads just prior to the election. And I'm very happy and thrilled. Like, you can drive around the district and you only see signs for myself, Jake Towne. So it's pretty interesting to see all the work that the volunteers have put into the campaign and all the efforts by the media and the establishment to really silence someone who is if we believe that America is this democratic state and ideas should be freely discoursed. That's not the reality. If that was the reality, I would be invited to these debates, and I would have a higher chance of getting the message out to more people. But regardless of anything that they do, my campaign is focused on just getting the word out to as many people as possible.
Jake, I have one more. It's kind of a personal question here on financing when it comes to working a campaign. In a situation like this, your full-time, 24-hour-a-day job is running your campaign, so you don't really have a salary. You don't really have something like that can support you, if I understand it correctly. So would it make sense that you would need to budget your spending here, I guess, as a private individual extremely carefully? Is that how that usually works?
Oh, yeah. I ended up, a lot of people, for something like United States Congress, I really kind of think that unless you have like a staff or what have you, you have to go about it full time. So what I did in 2009, when I returned back from abroad, I resigned, and I have been on this full time, and especially for the past probably 6 months or so, it is a full-time job. And like you said, I've actually put in close to $4,000 into that $50,000 that the campaign has raised so far, really because I wanted to make sure that I spend it properly. And the best way of doing that is to always have, one hand in the boiling water, so to speak. So we spent the money very effectively, I believe, and one of the other funny things about a lot of these political campaigns is even though they raise $1 million or whatever, they'll go into debt, and obviously my campaign's the only one that isn't running any chance of going into debt because that would kind of defeat a little bit of the message that I have, I think.
Yeah, I would think so. And my thought there about the incumbent that you mentioned. It would seem like $1 million or $2 spent for a broken record campaign is probably not even as effective as a $50,000 campaign with an extremely fertile message at an extremely fertile time. The timing really just seems really appropriate here.
Oh yeah, and and I think a lot of supporters have actually been surprised at just how much we've been able to make the money stretch and get on to radio ads, and I think we've aired over or will air about 300 or 400 radio spots, mostly during like rush hour while people are driving home and that sort of thing. And that's one of the key ways to reach a lot of people. I've been featured on the front page of, not always in a flattering light, I should add, but my campaign has made the front page pictures over 10 times just because it is so apparent to the press that my campaign's out there working a lot harder than the other two competitors. It's obvious, really wherever you go, and that's the key thing to realize is however much money that they have, it can't buy them dedicated volunteers. Like, they can buy themselves mercenaries and paid staff, and they've done that. But at the end of the day, a few dedicated people are worth a lot more than these paid zombie staffers. And we've done some. If people want to check out the website, my website is Towne, Towne for Congress.com, and one of the things on there on the slider bar at the top is a little one that says zombies, and people can click on that. And my campaign did a little internet movie called Interview with Two Zombies, where we just kind of go after both of the parties, not the candidates I'm running against, but the two parties as really having no new ideas, and just kind of trying to make fun of where I'm at, or trying to pigeonhole the campaign, but failing miserably, because when people talk to me and realize what the message is, a lot of it's just common sense.
Well, Jake, wrapping up here, what was that website once again for our listeners to go if they want to follow your work and also contribute to your campaign in some way?
Sure, it's TowneForCongress.com, which is spelled Towne for Congress.com.
Well, Jake, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you here, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to speak with us.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity to interview. I much appreciate it.